Hello and welcome to another scrapbooking process video using the Scraptastic Club kit for December, which is called All I Want for Christmas Is You. I'm going to be scrapbooking three 3x3 photos for this layout. And I only have one there, but the other two are printing while I check my papers. And I'm starting by having a look through the papers to see what stands out. Now, my nephew Jude here is wearing a orangey colored shirt, and so I'm looking for some of the reds in this kit that have a bit of an orange undertone to them, as opposed to some of the reds in the kit that have more of a pink undertone to them. And that will just help them to not clash too much with the orange, which is quite prominent in at least two of those photos. So I'm using my small Creative Memories trimmer that my friend Tanya gave me, and I'm just trimming up so that those photos so that they each have a very fine border around them, a very thin white border. And this is the paper I'm going to use for my background. It's that green paper with the white squares on it. I really love it. It is from the Fancy Pants Wish Season collection. And in a previous layout, in my last layout, I punched this shape. It's a strip of Christmas trees using an EK Success border punch. And I punched it out of one of the cardstocks that come in the kit. I'm just showing you the strip there for that Fancy Pants paper. Again, it's from the Wish Seasons collection. And so there's that punch again, and I didn't finish it off properly because I knew I wasn't going to use it, but now I am going to use it. So I just grabbed the punch and finished it off there. It had a small little strip on it that wasn't punched. So it looks a little plain as it is, the cardstock, and so I'm going to go ahead and add some mists. It's a tone on tone, so I'm taking the Heidi Swapp Mint Color Shine mist, and I just misted it. Even though it already kind of was that color, it just darkens it up a bit and gives it a bit of dimension. And then I splattered some gold mist, also Heidi Swapp Color Shine mist, on top of it as well, just for a little bit of extra interest. This layout is not going to have any splatter besides that which is on that Christmas tree border. So at this point, I've decided that my layout is going to consist of those three photos towards the bottom and then that strip of trees at the bottom, but I need something to layer behind the strip of trees so that they stand out a little bit more. So this is paper that came in the kit. It is an exclusive paper to the Scraptastic Kit Club. I think it is. Yes, it is. It's the one with the advent calendar numbers on the back side of it. And so I just tore it with my ruler, and it tore a little bit unevenly, but I'm not terribly worried about it. I'm just going to adhere that on using my Mono Multi tape runner. And I'm just attaching this in two tiny spots because I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine. Here I am right now. And I'm just showing you that I have it just very loosely glued down in two different spots. And then I'm running my sewing machine. I have it threaded with gold thread in the top. And then I think there's actually neon green thread in the bottom because I ran out of neutral bobbin thread. So I had to use neon green from another project. But that's okay because you don't see it. So I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this layout, but I know that I want the photos to line up along the bottom like that. So I'm going to go back to the pattern paper and start looking for what else I want to do. And I started off by thinking, well, I'll put a strip up at the top. I'm just showing you that first paper was from Scraptastic, and now this one is from the Christmas Wishes collection from Pink Fresh Studio. So I'm going to tear it on one side because that's what I did on the bottom. So that way they will look like they coordinate. And I really like that diagonal stripe. It's quite nice. And I like that it's lighter than the stuff at the bottom because it has the white on it. It kind of makes it seem more airy. And I'm also going to take a strip of this basic gray paper. The collection is called Juniper Berry, and it's a really pretty feminine and light plaid, as opposed to a lot of Christmas plaids are quite dark. I like that this one is quite a light one. It's mostly lines. And then I noticed that the other side of that was so pretty that I took another strip of that as well. And at this point, I started deciding I'm just going to put a whole bunch of strips along the top of this layout, and that will be sort of the design element, is the strips of paper. And I'm thinking that I will probably sew on all of them, and I'm thinking about adding a bit of a quilted effect. Now, instead of taking one of these strips, I'm going to take a cross section of this paper. And again, I'm cutting one edge of each of these strips and tearing the other. Or, I mean, using the manufacturer's edge, which is also cut nice and straight on its own. So this paper is that October Afternoon paper. And what is the collection called? It's called Under the Tree. So that's looking pretty good, but I feel like I need a little something else. Literally a little something else. I feel like it needs a skinny strip. And this paper says Merry Christmas all over it. It's from Teresa Collins. It's called Winter Papery. Or Winter Papery, maybe is the name of it. So I'm going to cut a really skinny strip of that and play around with where I might want it to go. Maybe right there, maybe not. Maybe right there, maybe not. Back to there. Okay. We'll leave it there for now. It's not going to end up there, but that's okay. So I am gluing down these strips, and I'm just gluing them loosely. And I'm grabbing some foam adhesive because I want to do something a little different here. I want to make each of the strips of paper, the thick ones, I want them to bulge out as if they have quilting underneath of them. But I don't have any quilting. Maybe you could do this with quilting if you had it. I thought about sticking like strips of tissue paper, like wadded up tissue paper that's in like a long tube type of shape, and sticking it in there. But I just decided that foam adhesive dots I had them on hand and they seem like they'll work. So I just decided to do that. I'm just spacing them out along the paper. And the first one is not going to turn out as good as the other two because I didn't pre-roll the paper. So see how here I'm trying to make the paper a little bit more pliable, but it's already sewn onto the paper, so it's onto the background paper, so it's difficult to do that. And it ends up like the quilting, it bulges a little bit, but it doesn't bulge quite as much as I would like it to. So here's the second strip of paper. Again, that's that basic gray paper that I love so much. And I'm going to run another strip of gold thread down that one. And yes, now my bobbin runs out, and I'm pretty sure. Oh no, my thread broke. So gold metallic thread or silver metallic, any kind of metallic thread does tend to break a little bit more often. You can get a special needle that you can use, but I used to do that when I had a smaller sewing machine, but I just use the regular needle now, and I just put up with the occasional broken threads. So I didn't bother trying to make the thin strips look like they are quilted, but see here what I'm doing is I'm rounding out that fabric. I'm rounding out the paper, which makes it more difficult to glue it, but that's okay because it only needs to hold it down while I sew. And then I'm running a strip of thread, like a seam of thread. And then again, I'm going to put those pop dots in. And I'm using the large foam adhesive squares. I know I'm calling them pop dots just because that's the generic term that I use. It's kind of like Kleenex. These are not pop dot brand pop dots. They're just foam squares. See, that one looks much better. See how it looks more like it's lifting off the page? It looks more like it actually is quilted. So now this next one is from the October afternoon paper. So that thin one with kind of like chevron-y, the one that I'm working on right now. And because it's a thin one, I'm not going to quilt it. I'm just going to run some stitching down both sides of it. Although I think I only run down one side. I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to run out of bobbin and I don't want to have to rethread my bobbin. So I only ran one strip down that one for now, but I'll go back and sew it later. I'm losing my voice here. Pardon me. So here's the other strip. Who makes this paper again? Oh, right. It's the back side of the basic gray paper. Juniper Berry is the collection. And you'll notice that I did roll this paper again before I sewed it down. So these foam pieces are going in well, and it's going to sew nicely over top and have that puffy quilted look that I'm going for. There we go. And now this one will be the very last strip. And I brought my video camera over here. I'm trying to videotape my sewing more often because people tend to request it. Just to show my full process. I like you know, my whole philosophy of process videos is that I don't edit out the details. It might be, parts of it might be boring, but I like to show you the whole process, and that might include any mistakes or any really monotonous stuff. I just kind of leave it all in there, and that way you can see exactly how my process goes. So I ended up doing a lot of this layout at my sewing machine because so much of it included sewing. So I'm glad that I had my camera set up for sewing machine angles today. So that's how the background is looking. I think it's really cool. I very much like it. It's very cool. So now I have these pictures here and I need a spot for some journaling or something. I like this Merry Christmas embellishment and I like this Joy Love piece, but it's not going to make it onto the layout because it's not the right, it's not going to make it. And I'm thinking about using some flare badges, but no, I don't think so. And the ho 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 is really cute, especially for a baby. Thinking about using it, but I'm not. So I grabbed a little tag there. It's just from the Fancy Pants collection. It's the, what is it called again? I keep forgetting the name of that collection. Wish something. Wish Season. Yeah, so I have that tag. It came from the Wish Season collection from Fancy Pants. I thought about using those bold, I really love those red letter stickers, those red puffy letter stickers. There's only one of each letter, so I need to be careful about using them. And they are not bendy enough to go over. I want to put the title along that blue strip of paper that's quilted, and so it's got quite a bit of, it's quite rounded. And so I need to use the foam letter stickers on this because they will stick and they'll kind of go around the corner with the paper. And I mean, that's one of the great things about foam letter stickers is that you can bend them and make them kind of meet your needs in that way. So, and I ended up really, really liking how this looks. I thought I was going to want a really bold letter sticker, like I was kind of wishing that I had a black letter sticker. But I actually really, really like these. And the font is called Doll. And they're thickers that came in the kit. Every single thing on this layout came in the kit. These letter stickers did not, but I'm not going to use them. I was going to put like a visit with Chase and Jude and make that be what that says, but I just decided to leave it at Chase and Jude. Now my journaling says, so fun to see Sarah, Chase, and Jude over the holidays. Chase is so full of life and Jude is so snuggly. And I'm just journaling with my Chamel gray pen. And now I put the tag down, and now I'm going to put the photos down, just using my tape runner. There we go. And now I'm going to put this Merry Christmas banner ribbon type of thing on with some foam dots. These are the same foam, they're not dots, they're squares. The same foam squares that I used to create the padded look in the paper strips above. And I just love those embellishments so much. Those are Christmas wishes from Pink Fresh Studio, and they're acrylic stickers and they're amazing. So I decided to use them to accent this layout in a couple of different places. And here are the close-ups. So starting with just showing you some of how the stitching looks. I did add a little bit of zigzag just in this one spot where I had run out of thread, and it looks kind of cool, casual. I really love how those strips of paper kind of lift and have some padding under them. And this is for the most part not embellished. Oh, there's a little strip of of thread there. I think I took that off before I took the pictures of the photos of the layout. Anyhow, I didn't embellish this one too much, as you can see. That's just because the paper strips kind of do most of the embellishing for me, and then I just added a couple little things, as you see. Love that title. Love that acrylic piece, that birthday, that Christmas present. Love that. And then there's sweet Jude. Isn't he adorable? So thanks for having a look at this layout, and I hope you all have a really great scrappy week.